Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Today is Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week. So on Wednesdays, we work on the middle of the body, which is the core, the back, and hips. So sit in a comfortable position and just stretch the arms, for example, looking up, and then lower down and twist. Just some gentle stretches and twistings. Breathing deeply. Good. And then come to the center. Bring the hands on your knees. Relax the shoulders. Bring the chin towards the chest and close your eyes. Whenever we close our eyes, I like to advise to bring the gaze slightly up, bringing the attention to that space in between the eyebrows. It helps us to connect with what we call our third eye, our intuition. And the mind seems to be in a more relaxed state. Then we are able to bring the focus to our breathing and be more present. Make sure the face muscles are relaxed, the jaw relaxed. And start noticing how is your breathing. And then we start lengthening slightly, starting that inhalations always from the abdomen whenever possible, expanding and exhaling, gently contracting. Breathing through the nose. And as you continue to lengthen your breath, perhaps that expansion from the abdomen wants to raise up towards the chest. And as we exhale, we allow the chest to fall first and then the abdomen. Combining these two types of breath, abdominal and thoracic breathing. Allowing any possible tension on the upper body to soften. Creating some extra space. And just remember through the practice that even if it's a guided practice, try to be as connected with your breath as you can. And as we connect the movement with the breathing, make the practice your own. Make it comfortable for you. And then with the next inhalation, bring the palms together at the level of the heart, pressing gently in prayer position. Spine straight, chin slightly towards the chest. And we start with our practice, our gratitude practice. Each day, 2 new things that we want to bring to our consciousness, appreciating, noticing how much abundance there is in our life, in nature. And then set your intentions for this practice. And your intentions for today. Better to set small intentions and achieve them than 2 big intentions, especially after the full moon. Good, and then inhaling and keep the palms together. Start raising all the way up towards the ceiling, chin up, head back. And exhaling, spreading the arms to the sides, lowering down, chin to the chest. Relax the hands, relax the shoulders. Breathe in deeply. And with a few blinks, open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you for joining. Okay, so we're going to stay in the same position. Remember, we try to bring the balance, so we're going to cross the legs on the other way. The leg that was on the inside comes on the outside. Perhaps when we do that, if we're sitting in the easier position, then we need some extra support under the hips. If that's the case, that's absolutely fine. Good, and then bring the hands on your knees, and we're gonna do some exercises from here for the hips. So we're gonna inhale and raise the arms all the way up, looking up. And as we exhale, we're going to lower down. And as the moment that they get to show the height, then we're going to twist. So left hand towards the right knee. And right hand towards the left thigh, top of the thigh. And if it doesn't reach, then just the back of the hand is around the waist. Good. And then the front arm, the elbow is going to be bent. So we can twist a little bit more with the shoulders. And then the neck is just following, bringing the chin down, looking towards the back shoulder. The stomach is in. And we're breathing more with the chest and clavicular. So the breathing seems a little bit more restricted. But it's good to keep deepening your breathing. Improving lung capacity, feeling the expansion between the ribs, feeling the twist on the spine. One more round of breath. Good, and then release the hands. Inhale and bring the arms all the way up. Chin up, head back, and exhaling, lowering down. Arms to show the height, and then twist towards the other side. Right hand on the left knee, left hand around the waist, or if possible, just pinching on top of the thigh. And then again, the arm that is on the front, bend the knees, bend the elbow slightly, and bring the chin down. Breathe slowly. Two more rounds of breath. Make sure the jaw is relaxed. Good, and then inhaling, coming back to the center, bringing the arms all the way up, looking up, and exhaling, lowering down. Chin to chest. Very good. Now stretch the legs all the way out. Let that circulation to get more active on the legs. Bounce and shake the legs, move your toes. Good, and then from here, we're gonna lay down on the mat, keeping the knees bent, feet on the floor. Find that extra space on the lower part of the spine, especially lengthening, bringing the stomach in. Find that extra space also between the shoulder blades, pressing down with the shoulders, hands next to the body. Good, and then from here, lift the feet off the floor, bring the knees to the chest, and keeping the hands down, just move the knees side to side, just very slightly. Start awakening the side abdominal muscles, massaging the lower back. Good. And then from there, we're going to focus on the core muscles. So bring both legs all the way up towards the ceiling, toes pointing up. Good. And then from there, we're going to bend the knees, bringing the shins parallel to the floor, feeling the core very active and toes pointing towards the side wall. Good. And then we're going to inhale and the right leg is going to get straightened. Good. And then exhaling, flex. Notice how much the abdominal muscles are engaging. You can even place the hands on the abdomen and notice. Now again, inhaling left leg out, straightening the knee. Good, and exhaling, bending. Good, inhaling right, extend. Exhaling, flex. Toes pointing, inhaling left, very good. Then notice how much the abdomen gets engaged, especially on the lower part. Again, right inhale. Exhaling as you fold. Left one, inhale. And exhale. Very good exercise for the knees as well. Inhaling last time in both sides. Exhaling. And inhale. Exhale. Very good. And then bring the knees towards the chest. Give them a hug with the arms and then rock side to side. Because we are hugging, then the rocking can be a little bit wider if it feels good for you. But just notice and do as much movement as it feels good for your back, for your lower back. Good. And then come back to the center. And we're going to roll onto the right side. And we use the bottom arm as a pillow under the head. We're going to do a sequence from here. So make sure that the hips are nice and soft. And for that, what we do is we align the hips and the knees, bringing the same on the top leg. And we lean slightly forward. As we lean forward, bring the left hand in front of you and engage the core. Good. So once you're there and you're comfortable, if you're still feeling any discomfort on the hips, please just put a blanket under it. But by leaning forward, it should be okay. Good. And then from here, we're going to stretch the top leg all the way out, lifting the foot off the floor. So we are hip width apart. Now we're going to be working on the side abdominal muscles. So inhaling, start flexing the ankle and coming all the way up as high as you can. Good. And then exhaling, lowering down. When you get down, point with the toes. Very good. Inhaling, start flexing and lifting. Good. And then exhaling, lowering down and point. The reason why we move in the toes is just so we don't get any cramps on the toes, on the base of the ball of the foot. Good. Inhaling, flex. Exhaling. And again, following the rhythm of your breathing. Inhaling, synchronizing the movement. Exhaling, lowering down and point. One more. Inhaling. Flex. Exhaling, lowering and point. Very good. And now bring the knee resting on the other one. Breathe slowly. Good. And we're going to do something similar at the twist that we did yesterday, but from laying down. So lifting the leg up, inhaling, and then bringing that foot back, resting the big toe on the floor and stretching as much as you can the front side of the hip, the groin. Keep breathing slowly. And keep leaning slightly forward so there's not discomfort on the shoulder, on the hip. One more round of breath. Good, and then inhaling slowly, bringing the knee back to center. Good, and then using the hand, we're gonna push ourselves up to center, and we're gonna go towards the other side. So legs to the other side, and we can all be facing the same way. Supporting the head, and then bringing the knees a little bit higher so they're in line with the hips, and leaning slightly forward. Engaging the core. Good. And then from there, we're gonna inhale and stretch the top leg all the way out off the floor, hip width apart. Notice the buttocks engaged, the core engaged. Good. And then start flexing, inhaling, coming up. Good. And exhaling with the ankle flex, calm down, and then point. Inhaling, flex, raise up. Exhaling, lowering down. Good. Inhaling, flex. Exhaling, lowering down, and point. Good. And flex all the way up. Lower down with the ankle flexed, and point. Good. And twice more. Inhaling. Good. Exhaling. Point. Flex. Inhaling last time. And exhaling. Point and bend the knee. Very good. And now from here, stretch and bring the leg all the way back. Feel the stretch all the way from the sides of the body to the hips, to the tip of your toes. Make sure the jaw is relaxed. Breathe slowly, very actively, pulling back. One more round of breath. Good, and then inhaling, bend the knee and use the hands to push yourself up to a sitting position. And stretch the legs, bounce and shake. And then come on tabletop. So hands and the shoulders. When we have some weight on the hands, then make sure that we have the support more on the fingertips and then on the base of the fingers. And the last place that we rest on the floor is the base of the wrist, okay? That way we avoid putting extra weight on the joints. We're supporting with the whole body. Softening the elbows as well will help, engaging the muscles, and the knees and hips aligned also. Engaging the core to help with the knees. If your knees are sensitive, you can always put a blanket under the knees. Okay, so from here, we're gonna get some movement on the spine. Again, cat-cow, inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, rounding the spine, chin to chest. Finding the length of the breath that feels good for you. And then synchronize with the movement. Exhaling. You first breathe and then we move. Exhaling round. Just one more. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. And then from here, bring the big toes touching the hips towards the back. Open the knees wide. Bend the elbows and rest the elbows on the floor. And with the palms, we're going to rest the chin there. Lifting the head off the floor and slightly different. Resting the chin on the palm of the hands. Yeah, very good. Keep breathing. So in this way, we helping the spine to be relaxed. allowing it to be soft. Breathe slowly. Good, and then inhale and bring the hands down on the mat and walk back towards you, sitting on your heels, shoulders back and down. A few times, relaxing the shoulders. Good, and then forward. Very good. Exactly. Looking for that variation to make it comfortable. Good, and then bringing the knees together, bring the hands in front of you, tuck the toes under, and lifting yourself up to downward facing dog. So start noticing how is your downward facing dog, and where is it that it feels challenging if it does. So if it's that the heels doesn't reach to the mat or it's difficult, then bend the knees. If it's that you feel a lot of weight on the hands, then bring the chest towards the thighs, lifting the hips high, and noticing that we are able to bring arms aligned in a diagonal line towards the hips, ears aligned with the arms, breathing slowly. The jaw relaxed. Good, and then we bend the knees, bend them as much as you can, noticing more weight on the legs, and then start walking back with the hands. Come into your forward fold. Good, and then straightening the legs, straightening the arms, bringing the hands to your shins, spine is straight, shoulders back, nice and wide the shoulders, even if the hands need to be on your thighs or on your knees. The toes are active. Always when we put weight on our legs, on our feet, when we're standing with our feet, then we want to have the knees soft, the feet, the toes engaged. Good, and then from here, we're going to stretch the arms all the way out, palms facing each other, looking down towards the mat, and then bend the knees a little bit more and start coming up to standing. Bringing the arms up, looking up, and then exhaling, bringing the arms to the sides, lowering down slowly, and standing position. Very good. So from here, we're going to do some exercise from the standing position. So it looked very similar to that one. So we're going to come down with the upper body parallel to the floor. But when we're coming down, perhaps there's a little bit of an arch on the spine. So make sure you engage the abdomen, and then we reduce the lower part of the spine. And then we're going to bend the knees, and we're going to bring the hips forward. We're going to start raising the arms up, and then we're going to come onto the locust position. So we bring the chest up, the elbows are bent, the palms facing to the front. See if you can bring the chest up a little bit more, looking towards the ceiling. Good, and then exhaling, bringing the palms together towards the heart center, aligning the spine. Good, we're going to do it again, hands on the hips. Bring the hips to the back, bend forward. Lengthen the spine, stomach in. Good, and then inhaling, bend the knees and start coming all the way up, bringing the hips forward. And bend the elbows and lift up the chest up towards the ceiling, looking up. Breathe slowly. Bend the knees a little bit more. Good. Notice the strength on the legs, on the core. Good, and then exhaling, bringing the palms and the elbows together and lowering the hands to the heart center. Once again, hands on the hips, bend forward, stomach in, toes active. Good, and then inhaling and start bending the knees, bringing the hips to the front, raising the arms all the way up, bending the elbows, palms to the front of the room, the hips are forward, the knees are bent, and then lift up from the chest, opening the heart center, look into the ceiling. Good. Strong legs. Strong core. One more round of breath. And as we exhale, we bring the arms and the elbows together. Exhaling, lowering down, elbows to the sides, straightening the legs. Very good. Well done. So now from here, from the top of the mat, grab your blanket and then you've got it near you. So from the top of the mat, facing the other way, we're going to bring the hands on the hips. And then we're going to bring the hips towards the back again. And we're going to twist from here. So we're going to bring first the arms all the way stretched out, aligning the spine and the arms. Good. And then we're going to bring the left hand on the right hip and stretch that opposite arm as much as you can towards the front of the room. The knees are soft, the toes are active. Feel the stretch on the spine. Good. And then inhaling, bring the other arm up, pointing towards the ceiling. Good. Keep breathing. Good. And then bring the hand all the way down, releasing the other one. Inhaling, bring both arms up. Good. And then exhaling, bring the left hand on the right hip. Stretch the other arm up. Stretched out, stretching as much as you can. And then inhaling, reaching towards the ceiling. Perhaps one of the knees wants to bend a little bit, which is absolutely fine. Try to enjoy the twist, breathing deeply. Good, and then bring the hand all the way down and wind the other hand and forward fold. Feel the stretch on the back of the legs. Zero resistance on the upper body. Breathe slowly. One more round of breath. Good, and then bend the knees and start lowering the hips down, squatting. Good. If it's challenging to squat, and you can open the legs wider, and when we open the legs wider, it's a little bit easier. So you bring the weight forward first, and you have some support with the hands, and then slowly start lowering the hips down. Good. And then from there, we're going to bring the hands, both hands towards the side, bringing the knees forward. Maybe there's only one hand on the side, on the floor, and that's absolutely fine. Bringing the hips forward. This is a little bit challenging at the first few times, but perhaps once we practice a few times, it's possible. Then the other hand comes all the way up. The more we bring the weight forward, the more balance we'll have, and then the hand comes towards the other side. Very good. And then from there, bring the hips towards the middle of the mat. Good. And now we're sitting down, in whichever way feels comfortable for you. Use your blanket to cover yourself up, and if possible, try to engage the core to come all the way down. Very slowly, straighten the arms, straighten the legs, strong core, and stretch the legs to the width of the mat, the arms away from you. Breathe in deeply and let go of any tensions, of any holdings. Eyes closed, the gaze up, the jaw relaxed. Allowing the breathing to become free. If you can Keeping the eyes closed, bring the gaze up. And keep the awareness on your breathing. Noticing how everything is working just perfectly, even when we are not controlling, we're not doing anything more than being. And gently start wiggling your toes and your fingers, increasing your breathing, bending the knees, feet resting on the floor, lengthen the spine, and keeping your eyes closed, slowly roll on your right side. On your left, if you have low blood pressure, relax the jaw. And when you're ready, with your arms helping, come up to a sitting position. Nice and comfortable with the spine uplifted. And we're going to close the session with one Om. It's a way of union. So inhale and bring the palms together at the level of the heart, pressing gently, fingers well spread, chin towards the chest. And inhale deeply. Inhale and exhale. And inhaling, bring the thumbs towards the third eye for the right thoughts. And exhale. Inhaling, bring them closer to the mouth for the right word, right say. And exhale. And inhaling, bring them closer to the heart center for the right feelings and compassion. And exhale. And with a few blinks, open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed the class.